Hi, Roseburg Christian Fellowship. I'm Stephanie, for those of you that don't know me, and I've just been asked to share a short word of encouragement with you. So, in our women's Bible study, we recently studied the miraculous feeding of the 5,000 men plus women and children. And did you know that this is the only miracle that Jesus performed that all four gospel writers wrote about? And so I think it's a pretty important thing for us to look at a little bit closer. And you might be wondering, why would I talk about feeding 5,000 people when a lot of us are abstaining from food this week? Well, as always, Jesus is doing a miracle and teaching the people something spiritual in the lesson of this physical food. And so he feeds the 5,000. He nourishes their body. The disciples had wanted to send them away because there's no possible way they could feed all these people. But Jesus had compassion on them, as he does with you and as he does with me. And he fed them miraculously from just a couple loaves of bread and a couple pieces of fish. He fed thousands and thousands of people. And not only did he feed them, not only did he meet their physical need, because he is their loving God who cares for them and provides for all their needs like he does for us, but he did it exceedingly abundantly above. It says in the Bible that they all ate, they were filled, they were satisfied, and then the disciples took up 12 baskets full of extra fragments of broken pieces. And so again, he doesn't just meet our needs, he goes above what we even think our needs are. But again, this is something that he did for the people to teach a spiritual lesson that I hope that we can all dig into and seek out for ourselves during this time. As we abstain from things, as we abstain from maybe bread and fish, from foods or delicacies, or from some sort of habit that we have, alcohol, pornography, social media, whatever it might be, as we abstain from those things, Jesus wants to minister to us in a physical way, but also in a spiritual way. And so later he goes on to tell the people, the multitude, as they seek after him the next day because, well, he fed them and they want more food again. And so they go after him and they find him where he's at with his disciples and they ask for more food. And Jesus says that you are following me because your bellies were filled. But I don't just want to give you the physical bread to nourish your body. I want to give you the spiritual bread that nourishes your soul. And he goes on to say, I am that bread. I am the bread of life. And so whatever it is you're giving up, know that you are giving that up for the purpose of gaining something deeper. So when you abstain from whatever it is you're abstaining from, Jesus wants you to recognize that feeling of emptiness, recognize that desire that you have to reach for that thing, that craving that you have, recognize it because it's there for a purpose. It's there because we were designed, we were created to hunger and thirst for him. And as he told the woman at the well, that she could drink that water and, she would need to drink more water later in the day, the next day. But he could give her water that would be for eternity, that she would never thirst again. And she's like, give me more of that water. And he was teaching her that he is that refreshment. He is the one that satisfies our thirst and nourishes our soul and feeds our hunger for eternity. And he wants us to seek him for that which is eternal, everlasting, that truly gives us a spiritual satisfaction and filling. And so one other thing that I want to encourage you in is after the feeding of the 5,000, 2 of the Gospels go on to tell us about another miraculous feeding of 4,000. So the first feeding of the 5,000 was for the Jews. The next feeding of the 4,000 was for the Gentiles. And it tells us in those Gospels that they brought those who were sick, those who needed healing, those who were just down and out. They brought him to Jesus, and he had so much compassion on them that he healed them and he fed them. And so I say this because there are some of us, some of you, who think that this time of fasting and prayer isn't for you, that it's for the spiritual elite, that it's for the spiritually mature, that it's for the pastors and the elders and the teachers and those who are in this spiritually right place with God. And that's who the Jews were. That's who the Jews were seen as, God's chosen people. And the first feeding of the 5,000 was for them. But the second feeding of the 4,000 were for those who were considered not God's people, not God's chosen, not the elite, not spiritually right. Well, this time of prayer and fasting is for all of us. Jesus taught us, all who come to me, all who thirst for me, all who are hungry, come, drink from the well, eat from my flesh. I am here for all, the sick, the weary, all of us. If you feel like, no, I haven't been in a place, my heart's not right, I'm just not ready at this time to enter into this time of prayer and fasting. Maybe next time my soul and my heart will be in that place. Well, I am just asking you to reconsider that, to go before the Lord, because it might be exactly the time that he wants you to seek him. It might be exactly the time that he is going to come in and fulfill all of your needs, exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever ask from him, that he wants to fill those needs and meet you in a physical way, but also deeper in a spiritual way. So I hope that you are encouraged this week, and that you come alongside us and you enter in, you lay aside something of the flesh and receive something deeper of the Spirit. God bless.